The Indian Council of Medical Research has revised the testing guidelines for COVID-19 at least 5 times since March this year. This should make it easier for you and me to get a test, right? The answer turns out to be far more complicated than a simple yes or no. On this episode of Backtrack, we look at what it takes to get a COVID-19 test. The ICMR released its first guideline for testing strategy in March, nearly 2 months after the first case was reported in the country. The objectives were very clear. The aim was to contain community transmission by improving access to testing, but since the country had not ramped up its testing infrastructure, it also wanted to avoid indiscriminate testing, and therefore, since the focus was on international travelers, the ICMR said that asymptomatic travelers would not be tested until they developed symptoms. Contacts of positive cases would be tested only if they developed symptoms, and healthcare workers would be tested only when they showed symptoms. India had reported just over 100 COVID-19 cases on the 17th of March, the day this strategy was released, so it did seem fair enough. But these guidelines were revised just 3 days later, and so were the objectives. However, the revised strategy included patients hospitalized with SARI, as were asymptomatic and high-risk contacts of confirmed cases. In the meantime, in April, the process to procure rapid antibody test kits to conduct mass testing fell through, as the batch received from China were found faulty when used on the field. These had been procured from an ICMR-approved manufacturer. With this, India was back to relying on limited RT-PCR tests.
हमारा RT-PCR टेस्ट है, उसकी सफिशिएंट अवेलेबिलिटी देश में है. हमारा जो सैम्पलिंग क्राइटेरिया है उसके हिसाब से हमारे टेस्ट होने चाहिए.
The next attempt to ramp up testing came on the 23rd of June when the ICMR added the point-of-care antigen test. The antigen test delivers result in 1 hour or less compared to the RT-PCR test, which takes 6 to 7 hours. But compared to the RT-PCR test, the antigen test can give a false negative 50% of the time. When this happens, the sample has to be re-verified on the RT-PCR, adding to the testing time as well as increasing the samples that need to be tested. So here is the medical infrastructure available for COVID-19 testing. RT-PCR test, the gold standard for testing according to the ICMR, TrueNat and CBNat tests as well as the antigen tests. According to the latest ICMR guidelines, here are the set of people who are eligible to get a test. Individuals who display acute respiratory infection with fever which is equal to 38 degrees Celsius or more, or 100 degrees Fahrenheit and above, and cough. Symptomatic contacts of confirmed cases. Symptomatic health workers. Patient with SARI, this is when you have acute respiratory infection with fever at 38 degrees Celsius or 100 degrees Fahrenheit or more, and cough which requires hospitalization. If you show none of these symptoms but you fear that you've come in contact with a confirmed COVID-19 case, then you're eligible for a test between day 5 and day 10 of coming in contact. People displaying ILI symptoms at containment zones, hospitals, and those who have returned from other states or countries are eligible for a test too. But what if you don't display any of these symptoms, or perhaps you have a fever but not much else and you'd like to get a test? Just to be safe. Well, you can't. The decision by the ICMR not to test asymptomatic individuals is based on a Singapore-based study whose findings suggest that the infectious period in symptomatic individuals may begin around 2 days before the onset of symptoms and persist for about 7 to 10 days after the onset of symptoms. According to the findings released on May 23rd, data is lacking regarding infectiousness of asymptomatic and pre-symptomatic individuals and how much asymptomatic infection drives transmission. Until June 25th, Karnataka reported a far greater number of asymptomatic cases compared to symptomatic cases. Shouldn't the testing include more asymptomatic people in that case? The current guidelines make it impossible for an asymptomatic individual to walk in and get a test, even at a private lab, often leading to a web of lies just to get a test done. But as you've just seen, these asymptomatic people show up as a category, and this happens when large-scale testing is conducted, for instance on returning migrants, which found most of them to be asymptomatic. The Karnataka state has even revised its treatment strategy for this category. So why won't the ICMR or the government revise their testing strategy? It could be due to a scarcity of tests or labs, or a backlog of tests could be eating into existing capacities, and this is exactly what has happened in Bengaluru after the testing centers at NIMHANS and BMCRI were closed as their staff tested positive. Which brings us to where we are now. We should have had access to more testing labs by now. At the time of recording, Karnataka currently has a backlog of 11,000 samples and has 90 functional labs. It should have been easier to access medical infrastructure or to get a test done. As Karnataka and India continue to report new highs every day, where does it leave our preparedness to deal with COVID-19? Tell us what you think in the comments below and ask the right questions with Deccan Herald.